Akash Network is currently experiencing an extreme demand spike with upwards of 85 to 90% of all their GPUs rented out. The network has been breaking all-time highs after all-time highs in daily revenue. We've got a co-founder claiming Akash has solved the demand problem. Customers are starting to panic about their GPUs. What exactly is going on here? My name is Kaylem, and I'd like to take you on a quick tour from a holder's perspective to look at who the players are and what the trend is that's currently driving AKT to the point of selling out. Akash's GPU mix can be divided into two large categories of high-density and low-density GPUs. High-density GPUs are like the H100s and the A100s typically used for AI applications. Then you have the low-density GPUs, generally the consumer-grade hardware such as the respectable 4090s and the 3090s of yesteryear. Akash's current GPU mix looks like this. So let's take a look at what's going on here, because Akash's high-density utilization has skyrocketed recently and even reached a point of selling out completely. The players here include Venice AI, which provides a permissionless open-source AI chatbot experience where every conversation is private and none of your data is saved by Venice. Akash powers inference for several of the leading open-source AI models on Venice through GPUs that are distributed around the world. To this day, Akash is the only DeepIn capable of hosting production open-source AI models such as Llama 3.1 for services like Venice. No other DeepIn can you deploy your own model on demand. This isn't just for Llama, but also any of the models found on Hugging Face, including OpenAI's Whisper LLM. We'll get into that later. No other DeepIn has this capability because Akash was built over 8 years ago and has a ton of code under the hood that the new players are just starting to figure out. The next big player of high-density chips is BitTensor and Tau next. BitTensor is a network of subnets that are held together by an incentive structure around the Tau token, which the network rewards to its subnets for the mission of generating high-quality intelligence. You can think of each subnet as an individual project, but every subnet is working with Tau as the central currency to earn with their activities. There are over 50 subnets now and growing, but we'll highlight a few. We'll start with subnet 34, Bitmine. It uses Akash compute in order to deploy miners 70% cheaper than the competitor, and 100 times more decentralized, by the way. These miners tackle deep fakes, incentivized to create the best deepfake detection models collectively, all using Akash compute. Subnet 27, the compute subnet, provides compute to other subnets within the Tau ecosystem. I'll remind you that this is an ecosystem based entirely on generating intelligence, which is currently entirely based on GPU compute. The subnet acts as a base stack compute provider for the rest of the Tau ecosystem, and that is fully integrated with Akash. Yes, there are other sources, including centralized ones such as Runpod, Lambda, AWS, but the savings of going with Akash will not be beat. Akash Network is direct access to the decentralized providers, no middlemen, just blockchain market management. I'll repeat it one more time. The subnet that acts as the base stack compute provider for the rest of the Tau ecosystem is fully integrated with Akash. So the trend that's driving Akash's high-density GPUs is decentralized AI. Akash currently runs 80% of the Web3 decentralized AI industry.
If you talk about Web3 target market, I think we have pretty much every decentralized AI company use Akash, right? They're there. Venice is the most widely used decentralized AI product that use Akash. So every Web3 decentralized GPU AI product, pretty much we have, I think, 80% market share, something like that.
But the reason why everyone is here using Akash is not only because Akash itself is an open source network with similar values, but that Akash is the only DeepIn network that is permissionless generalized compute. The rest of the DeepIn networks that compete with Akash are almost entirely closed source and definitely permissioned. Having the resources permissioned means that somebody can cut you off at any time for any reason, which is not desirable when you're trying to build a working business like Venice. It's also not desirable if you need resources on demand like Prime Intellect does, or the builders at BitTensor do. Permissionless systems guarantee access, and that is why Akash is the public cloud, and why this feature is a clear attractor to builders in the Web3 businesses as well as Web2. So that's all high density. Now let's take a look at the low density chips. These are your consumer grade chips, which are the best performance to cost money can buy right now. The utilization of Akash's low density chips also sits around 85%, servicing a completely different utility: gaming and metaverse applications, alongside inference applications. There are two big players and drivers of GPU compute for Akash's low density chips. The biggest is going to be Passage, which runs a platform that allows users to deploy Unreal Engine 5 graphical worlds on demand, leveraging Akash's GPUs to deliver stunning visuals. Passage is fully integrated with Akash, giving you a choice between a world hosted on AWS or Akash for 70% cheaper. Each 4090 GPU fits two participants inside of a Passage world, and a Passage world can have hundreds of participants. With connections building for in-Passage concert events connected to longtime event specialists, and a killer use case of bringing new ways to connect with communities and coworkers remotely, there's a lot of room for Passage to grow and a lot of Akash GPUs that will likely attend to that growth. Passage worlds can be persistent or deployed on demand, taking full advantage of Akash's on-the-ready permissionless resources. Now, if Passage is about deploying Unreal 5 worlds on demand, let's talk about Neuro AI, which is about generating Unreal 5 worlds on demand. Neuro, also known as Subnet 46 on Tau, offers a generative AI model that can create 3D game assets from word prompts. This includes a map tile generator as well as an item and character generations. Starting with the basics and coming around to some very impressive results in less than 6 months apart, Neuro is just getting started when it comes to tapping the potential. A tool like this can speed run game development and make it accessible to everybody. You can see now how the metaverse can be built by AI agents using this tool to craft worlds at your behest. Neuro AI's capabilities are currently powered by Akash's low-density GPUs. I want to give special mention to the developers and AI developers now starting to leverage the power of open source models such as OpenAI's Whisper LLM, which powers instances on projects such as Eve's AI. Eve's AI deploys this tech to listen in on X spaces and extracting the data for use further down the line. A lot of this inference is best on these 4090s and low density chips because of the aforementioned performance to price ratio. With the sum of these big players depending on Akash, along with the growing group of smaller projects that are integrating, Akash's high utilizations do not surprise. When you're looking for a good DPIN, look at the total addressable market of what they can do, along with the technology that enables it. When you look at Akash's list of clients, you'll see a varied list, each with a potential to boost Akash's utilization and revenue higher as they find product market fit within their own activities. And with projects that detect deepfakes, projects that are training the future of open source AI models, there is much to be excited about as a holder of AKT. That's it for me this time. Follow me wherever you see me for deep dives and takes on Akash Network. We'll see you next time.